I smoothed the wrinkles from my black dress, the same one I wore to both Mom and Dad's funerals. 6 months of wear shows and the slight pilling at the shoulders, the loosened hem where I caught it on a wheelchair. The mahogany conference table stretches before me like a runway, my siblings perched along its length like vultures eyeing their next meal. Lisa taps her Mont Blanc pen against a leather portfolio, each click echoing through the conference room. Her Cartier watch glints as she checks the time again. David slouches in his Italian suit, scrolling through his phone while the twins, Sarah and Mark, whisper and giggle like they're still in high school instead of pushing 40. Ms. Blake? Mr. Patterson clears his throat. The family lawyer's wire-rimmed glasses catch the morning light as he shuffles his papers. Shall we begin? My heart pounds against my ribs. 3 years of 24-hour care, of sleeping in hospital chairs and learning to decipher medication schedules, of holding Mom's hand through chemo and cleaning Dad after his strokes, it all comes down to this moment. Please proceed, Lisa answers before I can speak. Always the attorney, always in control. Mr. Patterson adjusts his glasses. The last will and testament of Margaret and James Blake, being of sound mind. The words blur together as memories flash through my mind. Mom's soft voice calling for water at 3 a.m. Dad's trembling hands as I helped him sign medical forms. The endless rounds of doctor's appointments, insurance calls, pharmacy runs. The graphic design business I built from scratch, now shuttered. The best friend's Napa Valley wedding I missed. The dating life I abandoned. The estate, including the family home at 247 Maple Street, all financial assets and personal belongings, shall be divided equally among our children. Lisa Marie Blake, David James Blake, Sarah Ann Blake, and Mark Thomas Blake. The room spins. I grip the edge of the table, my knuckles white. I'm sorry, what? Lisa's lips curl into a smirk. Mother always said those who truly care don't expect rewards. You should have gotten a real job instead of playing nurse, David mutters, not looking up from his phone. Some of us have actual career advantage. The twins exchange knowing looks. We should list the house right away, Sarah says, twirling her platinum hair. The market's hot in that neighborhood. Already have a realtor in mind, Mark adds. We can clear it out next weekend. Clear it out. Like the last 3 years meant nothing. Like the nights I spent organizing Mom's medications, the days I spent lifting Dad into his wheelchair, and the holidays I spent alone with them while my siblings posted Instagram photos from tropical beaches. All of it could be erased with a few signatures. I see it all again. Dad lying alone in that sterile hospital room, terrified and confused, while I made desperate calls to my siblings. I'm presenting at a conference in London, Lisa had said, her voice dripping with importance. The kids have soccer tournaments, David replied between clicks of his keyboard. We'll send flowers, the twins chirped in unison. The memory of writing checks for medical supplies while maxing out my credit cards burns fresh. The isolation of watching my social life crumble while my siblings carried on with their perfect lives. The way Mom's eyes would light up on the rare occasions the others visited, like they were doing her a favor just by showing up. My hands begin to shake. The pocket of my dress still holds the scraps of paper where I tracked every doctor's visit, every medication change, every small victory and setback. 3 years of my life documented in fragments. I stand abruptly, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. The papers in my fists crumple as 40 years of being the good daughter, the reliable one, the caregiver, crystallize into a single moment of clarity. Sarah rolls her eyes. Oh, don't be dramatic, Caroline. But I'm not being dramatic. For the first time in my life, I see my family exactly as they are. The question isn't whether to walk out or stay to fight, it's why I ever expected anything different from people who could abandon their dying parents without a second thought. I turn toward the door, my steps steady despite the trembling in my chest. Behind me, Lisa's voice carries that familiar note of condescension. I suppose we'll have to handle the estate sale without her. The words float past me like autumn leaves, no longer able to cut. I've spent my life trying to earn their approval, trying to be the daughter my parents deserved. But standing here in this moment, I realize I've been measuring myself against the wrong standards. My hand closes around the doorknob. The choice I'm about to make will change everything, but then again, everything already has. When grief rips through your life, the smallest objects become sacred. After the will was read, at home later that day, Mom's hat box sits in my lap. Its faded pink flowers a time capsule of better days. Stacks of papers surround me on the attic floor: medical bills, insurance forms, sympathy cards. The twins want everything cleared by tomorrow. Under tissue paper and old photos, my fingers brush leather. A journal. The simple brown cover bears Mom's initials in gold. MRB. Margaret Rose Blake. My throat tightens as I lift it out. Mom's familiar cursive fills the pages, each entry dated over the past 3 years. I flip to the beginning, where her handwriting still flows steady and strong. May 15, 2022. Lisa called today. She says Caroline quit her business to take advantage of us, that she wants control of our finances. I told Lisa she must be mistaken. Caroline handles all our medical appointments, the shopping, everything. But Lisa showed me Caroline's credit card statements. So many charges. Lisa says we need to protect ourselves. The journal slips from my hands. My fingers go numb. Those charges were for hospital parking, pharmacy runs, medical supplies insurance wouldn't cover. Lisa knew. She had to know. I force myself to keep reading. Entry after entry reveals Lisa's poison, dripping into Mom's mind while I changed bed sheets and crushed medications into applesauce. The 3rd of August, 2022. David says we should update our will. He knows people who can help make sure Caroline can't access anything once we're gone. It breaks my heart, but we have to think of the other children too. My phone buzzes. A text from Lisa. The estate sale starts at 9 a.m. sharp. Don't even think about showing up. I grab my laptop and pull up the family bank statements. There are transfers to Lisa's account during Dad's last hospital stay. Checks to David's investment firm while Mom underwent chemo. The twins' names on withdrawal slips dated days after the funeral. You won't get away with this. My whisper echoes through the empty attic. But they already have. A soft knock startles me. Angela, Mom's night nurse, peers through the attic door. Her scrubs are wrinkled from a 12-hour shift at the hospital. I heard about the will. She steps inside, careful of the lowered ceiling. It's not right what they did. I saw how hard you worked, Caroline. Every single night. They told Mom I was stealing from her. My voice cracks, while I maxed out my cards paying for her care. Angela's dark eyes flash. I kept records, you know. Every medication, every treatment you handled, every time your siblings said they were too busy to help. She pulls out her phone. The state takes elder abuse seriously, financial exploitation too. Before I can respond, my phone chimes with another text. Mrs. Henderson, Mom's best friend from church. Meet me for coffee tomorrow. I have things you need to hear. A third message appears. Jake, my former lead client. Still need that website redesign. Can work remote, just say the word. Footsteps thunder up the attic stairs. Sarah bursts in, her platinum hair bouncing. You're still here? Lisa says if you don't leave, she'll call the police. She's already talking to her lawyer friends about a restraining order. I clutch Mom's journal tighter. I have every right to be here. Not anymore. Mark appears behind his twin. We own the house now. All of us except you. He dangles a key ring. Locks change tomorrow. My gaze falls on the bank statements scattered around me, the evidence of their betrayal in black and white. You think you've won? Sarah rolls her eyes. Give it up, Caroline. No one will believe the jealous little sister who couldn't hack it in the real world. My credit cards are maxed, my savings depleted. But Mom's journal burns in my hands like a torch, illuminating the truth. I gather the statements and photos, sliding them into my bag with the journal. Angela watches from the doorway, phone still recording. My siblings may own the house, but they don't own my dignity. Or the truth. Later that night, at my apartment, the restraining order landed on my kitchen table with a soft thud. 3 pages of Lisa's manufactured concern about my emotional instability and erratic behavior. My coffee grows cold as I read her perfect penmanship, each stroke calculated to paint me as a woman unhinged by grief. My phone buzzes. A text from Sarah's college roommate. Is it true about your breakdown at the hospital? David mentioned something. The estate sale notice follows 2 days later. Saturday, 10 a.m. No warning, no chance to save Mom's recipe cards or Dad's vintage record collection. I drive past the house at dawn, watching strangers paw through 30 years of memories. A woman carries out Mom's cherished Hummel figurines. A teenager struggles with dad's leather armchair, the one where he taught me to read. My throat burns. I pull over, hands trembling on the steering wheel, and reach for my phone. The camera steadies me as I document everything. The overflowing dumpster of family photos, the pile of dad's books headed for recycling, Lisa supervising it all in her tailored pantsuit. You can't just throw away their lives, I whisper, hitting post on the video. The comments flood in within minutes. Former neighbors, dad's golf buddies, mom's church friends. Each share amplifies the truth Lisa tried to bury. That evening, my meditation app chirps its gentle reminder. 20 minutes of guided breathing while my laptop updates the spreadsheet tracking every document, every conversation, every small betrayal. My therapist calls it strategic healing. I call it survival. The letter from Riverside Bank arrives unmarked. Inside, account statements dating back 5 years. Mom's secret savings account, built one Social Security check at a time. The post-it note in her shaky handwriting. For Caroline, who remembers to bring flowers. My lawyer's eyes light up the next day we meet at her office. This changes everything. They can't claim you had no financial stake when your mother clearly intended. I get up abruptly, without giving her the chance to finish, and the next thing I know is I am in my car heading to meet Lisa. The country club dining room hushes as I push through the heavy oak doors 15 minutes later. Lisa's Thursday lunch group scatters like startled birds, pearls clutched, wine glasses frozen midair. My sister's perfect composure cracks for just a moment. What are you doing here? Lisa's voice carries across the silence. This is a private club. I place the bank statements on her white tablecloth. Red wine sloshes as her hand jerks back. Mom kept records, Lisa. Of everything. You're making a scene. Her whisper could cut glass. Security will remove you. Let them. My voice stays steady. I'm sure these ladies would love to hear how you handled Mom's cancer treatments. How you were too busy with your corner office while I changed her bandages. How Dad. That's enough. Lisa stands, her chair scraping marble, but the damage spreads through whispers and sidelong glances. Her carefully curated social circle witnesses the first crack in her facade. I just grab the papers and furiously go out. An hour later in front of the hospital, Angela meets me in the parking lot. Her nurse's scrubs wrinkled from a double shift. I kept my own records, she says, pulling a thumb drive from her pocket. Times, dates, which of you showed up, which of you didn't. The hospice ethics board takes this stuff seriously. Mrs. Henderson from next door brings coffee and 40 years of observations. She said she saw us from inside the hospital and wanted to help. Your mother talked to me, you know. About Lisa's suggestions for changing the will. About David's late-night visits with papers to sign. After the conversation, I sat in my car, silent tears falling down. That moment Jake calls because of design clients. I've set up your remote workspace. Full access to the agency's resources. Lisa can't starve you out if you're earning again. The reporter's business card appears in my mailbox after the conversation with him. Local news, but she has contacts at bigger outlets. Elder abuse is an epidemic, she says. Your story matters. Later at my lawyer's office again, my hands shake as I open the last file from the accountant. Dad's signature on the transfer papers shifts subtly across months of documents. The slant changes, then corrects, then changes again. Lisa's law degree didn't teach her that stroke patients' handwriting doesn't magically improve. Financial elder abuse, my lawyer says, scanning the forgeries. The DA takes that seriously these days. Later that night, at my small apartment, Lisa's phone calls start at midnight. First threats, then bargaining. By sunrise, she's remembering childhood moments of sisterly bonds, attempting to rewrite our history. I let them go to voicemail, each desperate message another piece of evidence. The meditation app chimes again. Today's lesson. Letting go. I sink into the rhythm of my breath, finally understanding that I never needed their approval. Every bedpan emptied, every medication sorted, every moment spent easing my parents' fear, those were acts of love, not down payments on an inheritance. The next couple of days, my legal team assembles through a network of referrals. Healthcare advocates, elder law specialists, forensic accountants. They take the case pro bono, drawn by the paper trail I've built. The evidence fills 3 bankers' boxes: visitor logs, bank statements, medical records, witness statements. The manila envelope arrives without a return address on Wednesday. Inside, a USB drive and a note. Security footage from Dad's hospital room. Watch the whole thing. My hands hover over the laptop. The truth waits inside, sharp enough to destroy Lisa forever. But as I reach for the drive, a deeper question surfaces. What would victory cost my soul? Light spills through my window, painting shadows across the scattered evidence of my family's betrayal. In the distance, a church bell tolls 6 times. I watch the sunlight with its own kind of clarity, and I finally understand what Mom meant about caring without reward. The reward was never meant to be money. The USB drive sits heavy in my palm as sunrise gilds the room in amber. One click could unleash consequences my sister would never survive. The choice stretches before me like a fork in the road, justice or vengeance, truth or destruction. Behind me lie 3 years of sacrifice. Ahead lies the person I'll become. My finger hovers over the laptop's power button. The next move will change everything. But first, I breathe. The next morning at my lawyer's office, the morning sunlight slants through Venetian blinds as my lawyer taps her pen against a stack of documents. 3 years of meticulous records spread across her desk. Medication schedules, bank statements, text messages, Mom's journal. My hands tremble as I sign the final affidavit. Elder abuse charges filed, Sandra announces, her voice steady. She slides the paperwork into a manila envelope, then checks her watch. Channel 4 runs in 20 minutes. We organize and I'm ready to leave. The local news segment plays on my phone during the taxi ride home. Devoted daughter betrayed. The anchor intones over photos of me at Mom's hospital bedside. Images of Lisa emerging from her law firm, hand raised to block the camera. David ducking into his Porsche. The twins scurrying through the country club parking lot. My social media notifications explode. Old high school friends sharing the story. Mom's bridge club members expressing outrage. Justice for Caroline trends locally, then regionally. Each share chips away at the perfect facade my siblings spent decades building. Lisa's response comes within hours. A press release calling me unstable, describing fabricated incidents of emotional outbursts. Her voicemail crackles with rage. You ungrateful little parasite. I'll make sure you never work in this state again. David takes a different approach. The hospice nurse who witnessed his absence during Dad's final days calls to tell me he offered her $10,000 to change her story. He said it would be better for everyone, Angela says. I told him I'd already given my sworn statement. The twins pivot fastest. Sarah's tearful Instagram video claims she always supported dear Caroline, but was manipulated by Lisa's lies. Mark echoes the sentiment on LinkedIn, carefully distancing himself from our older siblings, while painting himself as an unwitting pawn. Their synchronized damage control backfires spectacularly. Former classmates flood the comments with memories of their casual cruelty. Screenshots of their mocking texts during Mom's chemo circulate. Their carefully curated social circles crumble. This is how my life is these days. In the next couple of days, the dominoes fall faster than I anticipated. Lisa's law firm launches an internal investigation into potential ethics violations. Her largest corporate client places her on temporary leave. The Bar Association requests an urgency hearing. David's financial advisory practice bleeds clients daily. His biggest account, a local real estate developer, publicly severs ties. The SEC takes sudden interest in his trading patterns during the period he managed our parents' accounts. The twins face their own reckoning. Sarah's interior design clients cancel contracts. Mark's partners at the boutique advertising agency vote to buy out his stake. Their children come home crying after seeing social media posts about their parents abandoning their dying grandparents. My phone buzzes with a text from Mrs. Henderson, Mom's oldest friend. The club board met this morning. Lisa's membership has been suspended pending review. The message includes a photo of Lisa's reserved parking space, now marked visitor only. Support flows in from unexpected places. A crowdfunding campaign for my legal fees hit 6 figures in 3 days. Local businesses offer free services. Former patients' families share stories of my dedication, flooding review sites with testimonials about the care I provided while my siblings vacationed. A month later, the courthouse steps swarm with reporters when the judge grants me temporary control of the estate. Sandra's heels click against marble as we exit through a side door. The court recognized the clear pattern of exploitation, she explains. Your documentation made the difference. Lisa storms out of her law firm that afternoon, designer handbags swinging like a weapon. The managing partner's memo circulates minutes later. Suspended pending completion of ethics investigation. Her paralegal forwards me security footage of her trashing her office, screaming about family loyalty. David's response proves equally unstable. He shows up at my door past midnight, reeking of scotch. "You could have just asked for money," he slurs. "Now everything's ruined." The next morning, his biggest remaining client terminates their relationship. The twins attempt damage control through their children. "Aunt Caroline," Sarah's daughter sobs into my voicemail. "Mom says we'll have to leave our house if you don't stop." Mark's son sends similar messages, each more desperate than the last. I save every call, every message, every scrap of evidence. The stack grows daily, a monument to years of manipulation finally exposed. My therapist warns me about letting vengeance consume me. "Remember why you started this," she says. "Justice, not destruction." But the final piece arrives on a Tuesday morning at my mailbox. A thumb drive delivered by courier, containing security footage from Mom's hospital room. Lisa stands at the foot of the bed, unaware of the camera. "Just sign here, Mother. Caroline won't manage the money properly. You know how emotional she gets." Mom's hand shakes as she reaches for the pen. "But she's been here every day." "Because she has nothing else in her life," Lisa snaps. "Do you want to reward that kind of dependency?" The video continues for 17 minutes. Lisa pushing papers at our weakened mother, making veiled threats about power of attorney, twisting every sacrifice I made into proof of my inadequacy. One click would send it to the ethics board. One forward to the media would destroy Lisa's career beyond repair. My finger hovers over the send button as the sun sets outside my window. The power to crush my sister fills my chest with an unfamiliar weight. My phone lights up with another message from one of the twins' children. But my gaze fixes on the framed photo beside my laptop. Mom and Dad on their 50th anniversary, before the illnesses began. Their smiles radiate the kind of love my siblings never understood. The thumb drive feels heavy in my palm. The choice stretches before me like a forked path. Vengeance or something harder to grasp. The truth about family lies somewhere in the space between justice and mercy. I open my email and begin to type. 2 days later, we gathered again at the lawyer's office. Lisa's Mont Blanc pen taps against the mahogany conference table. Her Cartier watch catches the afternoon sun as she slides a thick manila envelope toward me. 25% of the estate. Signed today, and this all goes away. David leans forward in his Italian suit, his cologne thick enough to choke on. "Think about healing, Caroline. About family." His words drip with the same false concern he used when explaining why he couldn't visit Dad in the hospital. The twins hover by the window, Sarah's platinum hair gleaming as she exchanges worried glances with Mark. "My kids keep asking about Aunt Caroline," she whispers just loud enough for me to hear. "They miss you." My fingers trace the edge of the envelope. 3 years of 24-hour care reduced to a number on a check. The memory of Mom's hand in mine during her final chemotherapy session floods back her papery skin, the quiet strength in her grip, the way she smiled even through the pain. "The offer expires at 5, Lisa announces, checking her watch again. "I'd hate to see you face a countersuit for defamation. My firm has quite the track record with those." David's phone appears in his hand like a shield. "I have Dr. Matthews on speed dial. He's happy to testify about your mental state during Mom and Dad's illness. The stress, the isolation, who could blame you for breaking down?" A manila envelope slides across the table from Mark. "Someone left this at my house." His voice wavers. "Pictures of my kids at school. Think about what you're doing to this family, Caroline." The fluorescent lights hum overhead. My throat tightens as old instincts surface: the need to please, to keep peace, to sacrifice myself for family harmony. The weight of 40 years of being the good daughter presses down on my shoulders. My hand slips into my purse, fingers brushing against my phone. The record button glows red, just as it has for the past 20 minutes. "You know what I remember most about taking care of Mom and Dad?" My voice comes out steadier than I expect. "The silence. The endless silence of that big house, broken only by their breathing machines and my footsteps. No calls, no visits. Just me, watching our parents slip away while you all lived your lives." Lisa's pen stops mid-tap. "We've been through this." But that's not quite true, is it? I pull out my laptop, opening it to face them. You weren't completely absent. There were the withdrawals from their accounts, always small enough to stay under the radar. The changes to their will, conveniently timed after Dad's first stroke. The emails to their doctors, painting me as unstable, paranoid. David's face pales as his own email appears on screen. Where did you? Mom kept everything, David. Every bank statement, every email, every letter. And I had 3 years alone in that house to find them all. The twins shift toward the door, but I'm not finished. Did you know Lisa's been under investigation by the Bar Association? 3 other clients with similar stories, family members written out of wills, mysterious account transfers, sudden changes in power of attorney. Lisa's manicured nails dig into her leather portfolio. You're lying. The partners at Harrison and Schmidt might disagree. They received quite the interesting package this morning. I turned to David. Just like the SEC received documentation about certain creative accounting practices at Blake Financial. Funny how patterns emerge when you start looking. Sarah's designer heels click against the floor as she backs away. Mark, we should. Sit down. My voice cracks like a whip. You don't get to run from this. Not anymore. The conference room door opens. A man in a press suit enters, followed by 2 others. Miss Blake, I'm Special Agent Thompson. We'd like to ask you all some questions about the estate of Margaret and James Blake. Lisa lunges for her phone. The agent's hand closes over it. That won't be necessary, Miss Blake. We have everything we need right here. The next hour unfolds like a scene from the crime shows Dad used to love. Agents documenting evidence. Lisa's perfectly crafted mask crumbling as they detail the pattern of elder abuse spanning multiple clients. David slumping in his chair as his financial house of cards collapses. It was supposed to be mine. Lisa's voice breaks. Her mascara leaves black trails down her cheeks. I was the successful one. The one who made something of herself. But they always loved you more. Always talked about sweet Caroline, artistic Caroline, caring Caroline. David stares at his hands. The gambling started small. Just a way to blow off steam. Then the market crashed, and clients started asking questions. I needed the money. Just to keep things afloat. We didn't know. The twins speak in unison like they did as children. Lisa said you were taking advantage of them, that you were turning them against us. I stand, gathering my evidence into my briefcase. The leather is worn, scuffed from countless trips to doctors' offices and hospital rooms. You had 3 years to see the truth. 3 years to show up, to help, to be family. You chose this. The agents lead my siblings away. Through the conference room windows, I watch reporters gathering, cameras ready. By nightfall, the Blake family name will be splashed across every news channel in Connecticut. My phone buzzes a text from Nurse Angela. You did it. They're finally facing justice. But as I watch my family being escorted to waiting cars, handcuffs glinting in the afternoon sun, a hollow ache spreads through my chest. I've won everything: the house, the estate, the truth exposed at last. Standing alone in the conference room, I remember Mom's last coherent words. Love them anyway, Caroline. Family is all we have. The setting sun paints the mahogany table blood red. I've won the battle for justice, but the cost stretches before me like a shadow with no end. The choice I've made will define not just my future, but my soul. My fingers brush the silver locket at my throat, Mom's last Christmas gift. Inside, a tiny photo of all of us as children, smiling, innocent, whole. I close it with a soft click that echoes through the empty room. Some victories taste like ashes. Some truths cut deeper than lies. But as I shoulder my briefcase and walk toward the door, I know I've chosen the only path I could live with. Behind me, Lisa's Mont Blanc pen lies abandoned on the table, its golden nib catching the last ray of sunlight like a tear. 6 months later, the sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows bathes my new office in golden warmth. I pause at my desk, fingers hovering over the keyboard as I admire the hand-painted sign above my door. Blake Senior Care Advocacy Center. 6 months after the courtroom showdown, the family home has transformed into something Mom and Dad would have truly appreciated. My phone buzzes. Another desperate daughter seeking guidance about her parents' care. I don't know what to do, she whispers. My siblings keep saying I'm trying to steal their inheritance. Come in tomorrow at 10, I tell her. My voice steady with the confidence that once eluded me. Bring any documentation you have. We'll figure this out together. The words flow naturally now. Each call reminds me why I converted the sprawling Victorian into a haven for caregivers facing family exploitation. Where the formal dining room once hosted awkward holiday dinners, support groups now gather. This study has become a legal resource library. Mom's Garden supplies fresh herbs for the cooking classes, teaching nutritious meals for special diets. A knock at my door pulls me from my thoughts. Caroline? Angela peeks in, her nurse's scrubs replaced by a sharp blazer. She transitioned from bedside care to leading our medical advocacy program 3 months ago. Her from the Times is here for your interview. I stand, smoothing my emerald silk blouse, a color I never dared wear in my caregiver days of practical blacks and grays. Send her in. The reporter's first question cuts straight to the heart. What made you choose helping others over pursuing further legal action against your siblings? I consider the framed photo on my desk, Mom and Dad on their 50th anniversary, their smiles radiant. Revenge would have made me like them. This way, their legacy creates positive change. After the interview, I check my calendar. Dinner with Jake tonight. Our relationship bloomed slowly from friendship into romance, built on his unwavering support during my darkest days. He never saw me as broken or bitter, just becoming. My therapist says that's the difference, as surrounding myself with people who value growth over judgment. Weekly sessions helped me understand how decades of family dynamics shaped my self-worth. Now I recognize manipulation before it takes root. The afternoon brings a call that tests my progress. Caroline? It's about Aunt Margaret. She's had a stroke. Lisa's voice, sharp with calculated concern. The old Caroline would have dropped everything, rushed to be the family savior. Instead, I take a deep breath. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll send information about reputable care facilities and can recommend some excellent home health agencies. But I won't be taking on her care personally. But you're so good at this sort of thing, Lisa presses, familiar manipulation coating her words like honey. Yes, I am. That's why I run an advocacy center helping hundreds of families navigate elder care with dignity. I'll email you our resources. Professional, firm, free. After hanging up, I don't feel guilty. Growth. The late afternoon sun casts long shadows as I lead our newest support group. 10 faces reflect variations of my past self-exhausted caregivers fighting family battles on multiple fronts. I share my story, but more importantly, I share solutions. Legal strategies, self-care techniques, ways to recognize financial abuse before it depletes savings accounts. You're not alone, I tell them, meaning it. And you deserve better than martyrdom. A woman with silver-streaked hair wipes her eyes. I never thought anyone would understand. I did. That's why the center exists. That's why I published the guide for caregivers that sits on my desk, its first chapter dedicated to recognizing exploitation. That's why I fly across the country speaking at senior care conferences, sharing warning signs I wish I'd known 3 years ago. Later, as the sunset paints the sky in shades of pink and gold, I make my weekly visit to the cemetery. The polished granite headstones gleam, fresh flowers brightening the growing shadows. I trace the familiar names with gentle fingers. I kept my promise, I whisper. I cared for you until the end, but you taught me something too, that true inheritance isn't money or property, it's integrity. It's using pain to prevent others from suffering the same fate. Crickets chirp their evening song as I stand. The woman who once wore a black dress like armor now walks with straight shoulders, head high. My chosen family waits Jake with his patient smile, Angela with her fierce loyalty, support group members becoming friends, a community built on understanding instead of obligation. I am Caroline Blake. I chose love over greed, integrity over inheritance, freedom over family chains. The path cost me a fortune, but gave me something more valuable, myself. Walking to my car, I spot a familiar face hurrying toward the center's evening workshop. Another caregiver seeking light in the darkness. Another chance to turn family betrayal into community healing. I smile, knowing exactly how to help her begin,